Hey guys, welcome back to week 9. Okay, I'm going to keep rolling right through chapter 15. Um, just, just so you know what you've just undergone, it'll be a lot easier, especially when it's actually applied. Food safety, staff food safety training is much better when you're actually in the food service operation, for sure. But we've gone through a lot of materials this semester, and so we need, this really is just, I think, a summary. This last chapter is a summary of everything that we've gone through. We're just going to look at it through a little bit different lens. So we're going to look at what we need to do to train for each duty in our operation, ways to train, maintaining records, and how to ensure that all staff are trained along the way. So for the first thing that we have to do is understand where our food safety needs are, okay? So whether employees have been on the job for 20 years or for 1 day or 5 years, they need to understand that food safety is important, okay? I think you guys all understand that now. To make sure you're serving safe food, you need to train your staff when they're first hired and then continue training them. Remember, I just got my updated certification last September. I continually want to know what the updates are, okay? And so if I had a staff, well, you guys are my students, but if I had a staff, I would be, ensuring that they got the updates, okay? So we want to make sure that our staff can handle food correctly for obvious reasons. First, identify each training need within your operation, and there are different ones everywhere. A training need, and that is like a 2 words that you need to know the definition of. That's a gap, an actual gap between what staff should know on their job and what they actually know. Okay, so I mean, you can give them a written test, like what I'm going to be assessing. Your ServSafe exam is going to be assessing your gaps, right? But I assess your gaps almost every class when I throw up a one of those Kahoots. Okay, so where are the weak spots? And of course, the new hires, those gaps are going to be obvious. For experienced staff, the need is not always clear. Okay, and they can kind of get defensive. So you need to be walking around, managing, making sure that they understand, what they're supposed to be doing. You want to observe performance on the job, and test their food safety knowledge. The grill guy has been there for a couple months. You're going to come over and say, what's the temperature that chicken needs to be cooked to? Okay, so you want to make sure, and you tell them, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. You say, I really want to make sure that everything is safe for our guests. Okay, and that way you can identify areas of weakness along the way. So first, we want to make sure that we train our staff members in good personal hygiene. I have had many a conversation with folks about their uniforms, dirty uniforms, fingernails. Did you wash your hands? I mean, I would make jokes. I don't, some people may not appreciate it, but every time somebody came back from the restaurant, I would just casually say, "Did you wash your hands?" Always. It's a joke between myself and my husband, still my family, my entire family. Did you wash your hands? So that way, it becomes a joke, but they think about it. Oh yeah, Celeste is going to ask me, did I wash my hands? Or your manager, whatever. So you also want to make sure you're training them about reporting illness. This is so important. And incidentally, in Delaware, they're getting ready to pass a paid sick leave law. So that's going to be really cool. So, not good for a restaurant owner, but good for for you guys that are sick. So you won't, so that you can hopefully get some sick pay along the way, right? So we definitely want to train our staff in knowing the controlling time and temperature abuse, okay? Understanding what TCS food is, measuring temperature with the specific correct thermometers, okay? How to hold and store TCS food, how to label food, and then temperature requirements, when thawing, cooking, cooling, and reheating food. This is all review, right? You all have to know that too, to be able to take your exam. So we also want to train them in how to prevent cross-contamination. So again, it just takes a little bit of time. You know, we can do this during storage, preparation, and service. We also want them to identify how to prevent cross-contamination when storing utensils and equipment, and what to do if it happens, okay? And what to do for people that have food allergies. So not only mitigating your risk against cross-contamination, but also cross-contact. Remember, those are two separate terms, okay? They also need trained with cleaning and sanitizing. Wow, we just came from those chapters. They were long, but there's a lot of material. You know, again, a quarter of the course material is going to come from those chapters. The exam material. So when to clean and sanitize, the correct way to wash dishes in a 3-compartment sink, what that is, you know, wash, rinse, sanitize, air dry, how to handle cleaning tools and supplies, handling garbage, and how to spot pests so that things are done safely. And then we periodically want to retrain them, okay? We also need to keep good documentation. So most places don't have files anymore, like in a desk. Keep them electronic so we can pull them up at any time. Just have a spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet on your attendance records in this class. So if anything comes up, you have any grievances, I know exactly from all the Zoom reports of when you've been to class and when you haven't been, okay? And so there's different ways of training. Obviously, on the job is the best. I wish we could have done that in class. I could have shown you in the kitchen exactly what to do. So on the job is best, showing people while you're doing a specific task what to do. And, obviously it's the success of that is going to depend on the trainer. The other way you can do it is just like we've been doing in the classroom, even though we've been over web conference. I certainly prefer the classroom because I don't like seeing all you guys' black boxes. I love seeing your faces. But I can see whether you understand or not, and I can see whether you're distracted. But classroom training, you can get all your staff together and say, okay, today we're going to go through temperature control, okay, how to prevent time and temperature abuse for cold and hot things. And it can be just a quick meeting, your before shift meeting, whatever, in the kitchen, but you can also do it for the front of the house too. And it's great to be able to, give people aids like posters on the walls, or, ask them questions directly so that they can think about it. And if they don't know, then you can tell them what the correct answer is so that they remember that. Okay. And then you can show them how to do a correct calibration for a bimetallic stem thermometer, right there. On the job or in the classroom is for sure. And then they talk about jigsaw training. That's sort of like going into breakout rooms. And I didn't do a lot of those in this class. This class isn't really the best way to do that, but we will do, I probably still will break you out for some review sessions. So TBD, okay, when we come back and review in the next week or so. And so there's, we showed numerous videos, there's some in your book, all kinds of things like case studies, which we've done and we're going to continue to do. Those are all really good examples of training opportunities. And then some facilities use technology-based training. So we'll sit like Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut, those places, they have all their training already on the computer. So and you have a lot of that with UD. You had to go through sexual harassment training and what is it, UD alcohol. That's an example of computer-based training. Okay, so those are really good. So we want to be able to ensure that your staff has the knowledge to have a safe operation, right? And so it's really important for you to understand the various ways and, also to understand that training can be delivered in those various ways. And there's not one size fits all. It just depends on the situation, okay? Use different methods to achieve the best results, okay? So I'm going to close this out. We've just gone over the last 2 chapters in this book. I want to tell you up front and be transparent. I am not sure whether I'm going to be able to come to class on Wednesday. I have to have a procedure done on Monday. I don't know how. I'm expecting, because I'm a pretty strong cookie, okay? And I'd love to be able to answer. I will try to pop on there Wednesday at 5 o'clock on our normal Zoom. If I'm not able to come to class, I will announce, okay? So if you don't hear anything from me, assume that we will have class, and we'll take the opportunity to go through the case studies and the mystery shopper again. And then we're gonna save review for the next couple weeks. A lot of the practice materials are in week 10, so I want you to look at that, okay? I want you to look at week 10. There is a practice test with an answer key. There is a diagnostic test with an answer key. Just go through them, okay? See how you do. Now, I will tell you that those 2 things, I think, in my mind, are the easiest things out there, okay? They are not, the real exam is not going to be that easy. I'm sorry. It really is not, because the multiple choice questions can get a lot harder, okay? They're going to use, they're very term heavy in this, on the certification exam. So take a gander at all of the glossary in your textbook and make sure you know the definitions of them. So we'll be doing a heavy review too, but I'm telling you what, it's not for me to enable you to review. You have to know the material, okay, to be able to get a good result. You have to get a 75% passing of 90 questions, okay? And I'm telling you, it's not as hard, it's not as easy as I mean, even the quizzes have been a lot easier. I'm not sure whether, some of the questions will be representative of what's on the exam. There's some easy questions always, but there's other ones that are going to be really tricky. Last semester, I had 8 people out of 29 that did not pass. Okay, that's not a good passing rate. I'm going to tell you right up front, not a good passing rate. Was that my fault? I don't think so. All right, you guys have to know the material. I have enabled you to know lots of good material in class. Most of you have attended, some of you have not attended. The ones that have attended class every time, you guys definitely are going to do better for sure. So I don't tell you that to scare you. I will offer a retest, but it'll be a really quick turnaround. So I don't have a date on that yet. I will tell you soon. It will probably be 10 days after the certification exam, okay? Because I have to have grades in by the end of the semester, and it takes time to that goes back to ServSafe to grade. I don't grade them, okay? All I'm doing here is proctoring. So make sure you're practicing. That's the bottom line here. And if you have questions, reach out to me. I'm here to help you. I'm telling you that mystery shopper assignment will help you immensely because it's going to force you to go back into the book and look at the chapters that are associated with the questions on the assignment, okay? You do have to write incomplete sentences. There are no bullet points in this assignment. It is a story. Tell me a narrative. In your opinion, this is a first-person assignment. So check the assignment out again. Look at the grading rubric. I will be checking my email, so I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Wednesday unless something happens, and have a great one. Take care.